Hurricane hunters have found that Hurricane Laura has strengthened more as we continue into the overnight hours. In fact, by the time you wake up Wednesday morning, it could easily become a Category 2 hurricane before you do so. Howdy friends, Chief Meteorologist Shel Winkley alongside with you. I do want to get you the latest out of the National Hurricane Center. As of the 10 o'clock advisory, winds now up to 90 miles per hour. That's significant because 6 more miles per hour and we are at Category 2 strength, moving fast. Again, this is a fast moving hurricane to the west-northwest at 17 miles per hour. The pressure is dropping tonight. We're 400 miles to the southeast of Lake Charles, Louisiana. I want to show you a different version of what the satellite looks like, because where you see these black colors throughout the past 4 to 6 hours, that's where thunderstorm development is happening around the center of Laura. Earlier today, it looked like it was trying to form an eye around that center, but we likely won't find that until we get a little closer to Category 3 strength, which is very possible. So that being said, not much has changed other than some cosmetic changes with the latest forecast, except for the fact that when it makes landfall somewhere around the Texas and Louisiana border, it could be a solid Category 3 storm with winds sustained at 120 miles per hour. Tropical storm warnings remain in effect east of the Navasota River for everybody but Leon County. You might be added, but the way that this is moving, I think this has a pretty good handle. Remember, a tropical storm warning means that you have the potential over the next 24 to 36 hours through 48 hours to find tropical storm force winds. These are our max wind potential. Worst case scenario through the Brazos Valley. The window right now is from about midnight Thursday until lunchtime on Thursday, assuming that the best information we have about Laura and its path is correct. So Crockett, you could find winds 40, 50 miles per hour, but because you're on the north side of the Brazos Valley, likely wouldn't start earliest reasonable time, 4 o'clock in the morning till about 10 o'clock in the morning. And then you can kind of watch all these wind speeds here. The highest that we have and our biggest concern, because you're closest to Laura when it makes landfall as that major Category 3 hurricane, Cold Springs, San Jacinto County, Lake Livingston on Alaska, looking for the potential for wind gusts 50 to 60 miles per hour, primarily midnight until about 8, 9 o'clock in the morning on Thursday. Again, that's worst case scenario. Now, I want to show you the latest data that we have, assuming that the path we have from the National Hurricane Center taking it up the Texas and Louisiana state line holds. So you'll watch the center of the storm down here on the bottom of the screen work its way northbound just after midnight Thursday morning. And with that very slight shift to the east, there's not a big drastic change, but every little shift we get eastward, we can take the highest wind gusts and we can push them a little further east in the Brazos Valley. That being said, I think here in Bryan and College Station, we haven't talked about you a lot, and that's because we only expect winds 20, 25, maybe gusting upwards of 30 miles per hour through the morning hours on Thursday. Plenty gusty. You might have some very small branches down, your furniture tossed outside, but in terms of impactful winds, I still think the I-45 corridor points off to the east will have the highest potential. Wind gusts 40, 50 miles per hour with the occasional gust to 60. And remember, that's gusts. Sustained winds in our eastern counties, 20, 30 miles per hour through the morning on Thursday. Rainfall, something that a lot of us have been asking for and looking for. On Wednesday, as Laura approaches the Texas and Louisiana coast, watch pinpoint forecasts widely scattered, but the far-reaching outer bands of Laura start blowing out of the Gulf and work their way towards the Brazos Valley. And if they can hold on, they can bring scattered rain, and in those heavier downpours, there might be some squally winds 20 to 40 miles per hour. But watch the actual hurricane, and again, this is just one forecast model, but taking it up the state line and through far east Texas, notice the contour of rain here, widely missing most of the Brazos Valley on Thursday. This thing's about 130, 150 miles east, but most of the rain is going to stay in East Texas. We have the potential, I think, to pick up 1 to 3 inches of rain east of I-45. If you get an inch of rain between Wednesday and Thursday west of I-45, consider yourself lucky and consider yourself beating the odds, because I just don't really highly see that happening. In fact, you can see that with the rainfall forecast here, that east of I-45 we have some coloration, but this generally follows the path of Laura, 4 to 8 inches of rain through East Texas, through western portions of Louisiana, and because of the wind, there likely will be a lot of tree damage, a lot of trees down through the piney woods of Texas. One more thing for you tonight before we let you get to rest is the fact that with some power outages possible in our far eastern counties, Governor Abbott today said that it may take 1, 2, 3 days to get that power restored, especially in the more forested areas. Once Laura lifts to the north, the air sinks behind it, and temperatures over the next couple of days, including Thursday afternoon, expected close to 100. So being without air conditioning that long could be an issue for you as well. Prepare now in case of the worst, especially again in our eastern counties. Next advisory from the National Hurricane Center comes out at 4 o'clock in the morning. We'll get you the latest, of course, at kbtx.com. Meteorologist Max Crawford is with you with the very latest on Hurricane Laura Wednesday morning, that is, on Brazos Valley this morning.